I found proof that my wife was cheating on me, so I decided to follow her one night. But what I discovered that night didn't just destroy my marriage. It destroyed everything I thought I knew about my family. I'm a 32-year-old guy, and until a few months ago, I thought I had a pretty normal life. I had been married to my wife, Sarah, for 5 years. We met in college, dated for 3 years, and honestly, I believed she was the one person in the world I could completely trust. We had a small apartment, steady jobs, and a routine life. Nothing fancy, but we were happy, or at least I thought we were. But about 6 months ago, things started to change. Sarah suddenly became very protective of her phone. She started going out more often, saying she had late meetings or dinners with coworkers. At first, I ignored it. I didn't want to be that paranoid husband who assumes the worst. But then the small things started adding up. She would smile while texting someone and immediately lock her phone when I walked in. She started dressing up more, even when she said she was just going to work. And sometimes she would come home late smelling like a different cologne. My gut told me something was wrong. One night, Sarah was in the shower and her phone lit up on the nightstand. I wasn't planning to check it, but the notification caught my eye. It said, "I can't wait to see you tonight." My heart dropped. I stared at the phone for what felt like 10 minutes before finally picking it up. The message was from a contact saved as Michael Work, but the conversation clearly wasn't about work. They were flirting, talking about meeting late at night, making plans when I wasn't around. And the worst part? She had sent him a message that said, "My husband has no idea." That sentence hit me like a punch in the chest. For the next few days, I couldn't think straight. I felt angry, betrayed, and honestly, humiliated. But instead of confronting her immediately, I decided to wait. I needed proof. 3 nights later, Sarah told me she had another late meeting. But this time, I followed her. She drove across town and parked near a quiet restaurant. I watched from my car as she got out. Then a man walked up to her. They hugged, my stomach turned. I grabbed my phone, ready to record everything so I could finally confront her. But then something strange happened. Instead of going into the restaurant, they walked toward a nearby apartment building. I followed them quietly and waited outside. About 30 minutes later, I saw someone else arrive at the building. And when I saw his face, my entire world stopped. It was my older brother. At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but then he walked straight into the same building Sarah had entered. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My own brother. The guy I grew up with. The guy I trusted more than anyone. I waited outside for almost an hour, shaking with anger. When Sarah finally came out, I stepped out of my car. She froze the moment she saw me. Her face went completely pale. Before she could say anything, my brother walked out of the building behind her, and the look on his face told me everything. I completely lost it. I started yelling, asking how long this had been going on. My brother tried to calm me down, but that only made me angrier. Then Sarah suddenly started crying and said something that shocked me even more. She said, "This isn't what you think." And honestly, that's the most cliché line ever. But then she explained something I never expected. She said she wasn't cheating. She said she had been secretly meeting my brother because they were planning something for me. At that moment, I thought it was the worst lie I had ever heard. But then my brother went back inside the building and came out holding a folder. Inside the folder were legal documents. Documents about our late father's property. Apparently, before my dad passed away 2 years ago, he had left a hidden inheritance. But there was a legal issue that prevented them from telling me immediately. Sarah and my brother had been secretly meeting with a lawyer to fix the paperwork so I could finally receive it. They wanted it to be a surprise. The messages I saw, the "I can't wait to see you tonight." They were talking about the night they planned to tell me everything. And the reason Sarah kept it secret from me was because my brother asked her to help organize the entire process. I stood there in the parking lot, feeling like the worst person alive. I had already assumed the worst. I had spent weeks imagining betrayal that wasn't even real. I looked at my wife, who was still crying, and my brother, who looked completely disappointed in me. That night, I realized something important. Sometimes the stories we create in our heads are far worse than reality, and once you let suspicion take control, it can destroy trust faster than any betrayal ever could. So yeah, that's the story of how I thought I caught my wife cheating. But instead, I almost destroyed my marriage and my relationship with my brother because I jumped to conclusions. Trust is fragile. Once doubt enters your mind, it can turn even innocent things into something ugly. And sometimes, the biggest mistake isn't betrayal. It's assuming the worst about the people who love you most.